Good morning, welcome back to another YouTube video. It's currently about 5:20 in the morning. Today I'm going to take you through the Delts and arms session, which is the main part of the video, but also my morning routine, which kind of blends into training as well. So I'll take you through that, what I do in the morning. Like I said, it's about 5:20 now. I get up about 4:45 to 5. And then always aim to get to the gym for about 6. So yeah, cooking my meals for the day. So I've got things on the stove now. Apologies about the lighting. I just like to do things in the dark in the morning. So this is what we've got going on. Beef and rice, fish. I'll put the lights on for you just because it's better to film. So yeah, like I said, meal's getting prepped up now. Beef, rice, white fish, just so I've got 2 meals in the fridge, easy meals that I can take out through the day instead of having to prep every single meal on, well, meal by meal. So I always have like 2 rice meals in the fridge ready to go. So if I do have to leave the house, I can just grab one out of the fridge. So I do that every morning. That's been something I've done for years, just part of the routine, and something I like to keep in, instead of kind of waking up and going straight to the gym. Kind of do this first. So 5:25, which for me means coffee time. So I'm going to get coffee on. So there is the coffee, double espresso, always in the morning. And I also prep up my kind of pre-intra post as well. So I've got my intra done here, which is just at the moment, because we've been prepping, the food is low, not having any direct carbohydrates in the session, so it's just essentially amino acids and creatine and electrolytes. I also have 20 grams of pumpage from JP. That is my pre-workout. That helps with the pump, because obviously food again is low, so anything helping with that. And then I also set up my orals for the morning, which are only done on prep. So I'm not going to go through those just in case someone tries to copy the stack I'm on. And then my post-workout meal I made last night, so I just put it in the fridge. We've got 56 grams of cream and rice. I'll have that with whey, or I go for Frosties. Depends what kind of texture I'm in the mood for in the morning or the day before. And I wanted to try out the new, well, not the new, but I wanted to try out the JP cream and rice. So this is what we're on at the moment. JP vanilla cream and rice. I'm not, in terms of cream and rice, I'm not a massive fan. Just obviously in prep, you're trying to find some sort of satisfaction from something. The depths of prep, so I'm hoping that tastes pretty nice with some, using the cereal milk whey from Perform, which is my favourite. I've used that the whole way through prep and some of the off season. I haven't changed my flavour of protein at all, so that's gone down a treat. So yeah, that is kind of my morning done. I will now chill out for about 15 minutes and enjoy this coffee, which is something I like to do in the mornings, just because it's my time. I can prepare myself before training, even though training's taking a bit of a back foot. I'm going to do my best to try and talk through the movements today and kind of take you step by step through the session, instead of just filming a clip of stuff, because a clip of each movement and just kind of moving on with like a voiceover. I'm actually going to talk to you in the gym today, because training is taking a back seat, really. You know, I'm just going in there to get a pump as we're like 2 weeks out. So I basically have more time to kind of put into things like vlogging sessions, because I don't have to get my mind in a place where I need no distractions, or obviously the focus is there in the set and always will be, but it doesn't have to, it's not that as focused as, say, I was off season and going for a PR. You know, I've been told to drop load on movements, I've been told to not go to failure, so there's things that I don't have to think about in training, but allows me to share a bit more, and hopefully I can go through a few things today with you. That's kind of what I wanted to do, just my thought process before movements, how I'm going to do movements, and my setup and stuff. So that's going to be today, but it's now 25:26, so I'm going to drink this coffee, pack my meals up for today, and then we'll head to the gym. So we're at the gym. Next on the list that we have to do is run through check-ins. So I've been checking in with Luke now for the past 5 to 6 weeks, every single morning. Ever since we've been like 5-6 weeks out from this next show, or since I came off stage about 5 weeks ago. So we check in every morning, and I go through 4 rounds of posing, which has been my normal routine since prep started. 4 rounds of posing every morning, fasted before training, so when I'm at my freshest look. So this is something I do, every morning before training or rest day. Is hit out about 4 rounds. Obviously the first round I send over to Luke with my weigh-in from yesterday and today, just so you can see the difference. And then I'll go through another 2 rounds of mandatories, and then the last round is my posing routine, the individual routine. So that's 4 rounds of posing. Sometimes I'll do a round post-training if it's like another body day, just to see what the pump was like, see me, you know, at my fullest, even though I'm depleted right now, but just to see the muscle tight to the skin with the blood that we're putting through it. So I'm gonna get check-ins done now, go through this, and then we'll be on to training. It's about 6:10 right now, so I usually start training around 6:25, and then we'll get on with it. So in for first movement, which is our kind of machine lateral raise. Just done some banded work for warm-up, just some lateral raises and overhead pressing, and then into our first movement, which is three sets. You'll see by the load that we have backed off a bit, so no more gym pins, no more adding load onto stacks. You know, the most I'll do is a stack. You know, I feel like I can do more, but at the point now where there's no point. It's not necessary to be putting load onto stacks and trying to hit new numbers or even maintain numbers. I mean, I'm still trying to stay close to what I'm working at, but it's just a case of now just pushing blood in and trying to get the best pump I can with the food run. So we did have a food drop this week, so food has gone down a bit lower. So we're kind of just working off the pumpage that we're using pre-workout. That's kind of getting us through. So I try and keep sessions down to like an hour and a half tops. Just try and stay on my feet, keep rest periods short as well, just so I can prolong that pump and not kind of tire out during the session. So we've only got in total 8 movements, 7 movements. The last 2 are bicep, tricep. So I do that. Been doing that superset at the moment, just again for time efficiency and keeping the session shorter than usual. Normally when off-season turns around, I take as much time as I can between sets, just to rest and make sure that I'm geared up for the set. But obviously now, not really going for any top sets, not really going for any PRs or anything, so we can kind of just work in when we need to. So 3 sets on here to start with, machine lateral raise. I'll just do the stack again. burn out at like 12, but we're leaving, you know, 2 to even 3 reps in reserve right now. So just being very cautious in training, making sure that I'm not overdoing anything, because the main emphasis we're putting on at the moment is cardio and steps and output and bringing that food down low. So we want to try and still train, because we still want to kind of take the body over, but not put it in a position where I'm fatigued and can't recover from sessions and then can't perform in cardio. So we'll get into this, show you 1 set probably from each movement, and we'll move on from there. So next up we've got this nitro press. Again, machine work. I've been sticking on machines for a while now. I actually don't remember the last time I did a free bar, free dumbbell movement. Elite, where I train, is such a good gym, packed full of the best equipment you could ask for, really. You know, there's nothing we don't have in terms of like plate loaded and machine work. It's quality, and I spend all my time on machine work and plate loaded stuff. From a safety point, it's definitely something that I would advise when you're dealing with your heavy loads and top sets, and it gets to a point where when you're doing free bar movements, there is that chance of risk to reward ratio where you need to work out which way you're going. So obviously now, being 2 weeks out, you've got to stay on machines and just work on this. So I've been on this for like the past, probably since my first show, which was start of September. I swapped it. I went from the Smith machine onto this pin load machine. So same movement, it's just a different press. So we've now got our 3 main presses for the session. So 2 shoulder press, 1 chest movement, always 1 chest movement in this delt and arm session. So we'll go through this. Just 2 sets on here, top set, back off set. Again, nothing crazy. Unfortunately, this can be quite a boring training video. If you like me and enjoy training, and having to back off is hard. So training's boring at the moment, but it gives me a chance to talk to you and walk you through stuff. So 2 sets in here, show you my top set. So I say top set, it's, you know, I'm just feeling the weight really and getting close to failure but not failing. So we'll get into this. So yeah, did add 10 kilo to that, but you know, check my logbook. It's what I did last week. So I feel good on this movement anyway. I feel pretty strong, and you know, didn't really take it to failure. So probably left 1 or 2 in the tank, which is fine. So we get back off set done now with a stack, probably another set 12, and we'll go on to our next kind of plate movement press. So next up we've got this plate loaded shoulder press. I'm going to be using the neutral grip on this instead of what we were using before on the pin loaded. Again, 2 sets, top set, bottom set. You know, working up to 3.5 plates from a top set. I did 4 plates last week, but having to just back off a bit now and just take it easy. So I'd rather play it safe and kind of take a bit of load off and go for more reps and pumps. So we'll get into this. Like I said, two sets all together, top set, back off set. But yeah, I feel alright. Pumps coming in, so second press movement for delts, and then we've got one for chest after this. So into our next movement, which is the chest movement for the session. So it's just this hammer strength press. I think it's 2 sets on this. My last one, the shoulder press, I did just two straight sets of 10 with that 3.5 plates. Like I said last week, I did 4 plates, and just dropped it down this week just for safety reasons, really. Food has been dropped, fatigue is higher this week, so just trying to mitigate any more fatigue that I can put on the body. So hammer strength chest press in now, 2 sets, top set, back off. We'll work on this. Aim is to just squeeze the hell out of the chest, bring up the blood for the muscle, and carry on there. So next up we've got our delt accessory movement, which is a cuff lying lateral raise on the cable stack. I think 2 or 3 sets on this. Just an accessory movement before we go into our last kind of delt accessory movement for the session. So we'll go through this. And with things like feeder sets or warm-up sets, I'm probably doing 2 to 3 feeder sets per movement. Like on this one, just because it's an accessory movement, I've already done 3 presses. I only did 1 feeder set just to feel the load, feel the movement. It felt good. I'm already warm, so I can kind of go straight into this. 2 sets, 2 top sets, 1 back off set on this. So I'm just doing 2 sets of 12 and then 1 set of 15. That'll be us for this lateral raise. But don't, with feeder sets and stuff, especially when you're close to show, like a few weeks out, don't feel like you have to do 4 or 5 feeder sets. Just get a feel for it. You should be warm anyway. You should be taking slightly less time between sets on rest periods. So, you should be able to get a sweat on, should be warm. So there's no real need to be doing unnecessary amounts of sets before you're like working sets. Because we want to save energy. I've got cardio after this and a fair bit of steps to do after this. So I need to kind of think about that as well. It's not just training, which is kind of the off-season mindset. Is to your whole off-season is based around training and progressing that. There's nothing else that you kind of have to think about in terms of gym related. Obviously you might have some cardio in there, but it's only very low intensity. You might have like 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day to do, but you know, in prep there's boxes to take off, and making sure that you're saving energy for things that are at the moment more important than training, which is cardio and output. So yeah, we'll get into this now. Okay, into our last kind of delt movement for the session. Rear delt flies on the pec deck. 3 sets on it. I am still logging my training 2 weeks out, I know. But this is just how I like to do things. I like to stay in my structure, stay in my routine, and the logbook for me is part of my routine. You know, even though I'm not writing down big top sets and looking at numbers to beat, I'm still mapping out my training, still staying like, just making sure that I know what's coming next. I know how many sets I've got, because at this time in prep, you know, brain tends to take a bit of a wander sometimes. I tend to forget things, so it's kind of just there as a guide for the session really, and just to tick boxes, honestly. I like and enjoy ticking boxes, and I can actually do this physically by writing it down. So it's something to, I just keep in training, just maps out my training, maps out my off-season prep, kind of mapping out, and to see how the sessions have gone past over the past few weeks, because I can obviously look back on numbers and see what strengths happened, how much load I've taken off, and then when it comes back to like going into a rebound post-show, we can look back at numbers again and see what my baseline numbers would be, see that I'm not overtraining when I go into rebound, pick some safe numbers off there. So we'll get into this now. 3 sets. So last up, we've got our arm superset, biceps, triceps. Going to be doing the single arm preacher curl superset with a single arm cuff tricep extension. 3 sets on here, 2 top sets, 1 back off. I'm just going to work between the 2. No rest periods really, just time to walk in between each movement, and just try and get an overall decent pump on the arms. Triceps are already pretty pumped from pressing, so it shouldn't take long for these to swell up a bit. Hopefully get a nice arm pump, which is always nice when you're shredded. You can take that box off. So yeah, crack on. And as well, something else to touch on, as we're doing cardio every day now, because I train fasted, I will also do my cardio fasted post-training. So we've obviously got it today. Yesterday was rest day, so just came in and did cardio straight away, but obviously we're training today. So I'll get my cardio done after this. Half an hour on training days, 45 minutes on rest days. So about 15 to 20 minutes before I'm going to start cardio, which is usually like my second to last movement of the session, I will take my CV burn, 2 servings of this at the moment. I always start prep on like 1 and then work my way up to like 1.5, 2, so now it's 2 scoops of CV burn. I think I've gone through like 2 tubs of this in prep so far. Probably have to buy another one soon. This just helps bring on a good sweat, get heart rate up. Also utilising Clen and Yihimbine as well, which is kind of my pre-cardio stack, so I'll take that now and leave it for about 15-20 minutes, let it kick in, and then we'll get on with cardio. So last 2 movements, wait 15-20 minutes. Well, while we're training, obviously that's the 15-20 minutes, and then we'll get straight stuck into cardio. And at this point in prep, the CV burn, if you haven't had it before, or if you have from JP, starts to taste like Fanta, because it's like an orange drink. So it's quite a nice, refreshing drink to have, even though it doesn't taste the best, especially if you ever had it in the off season. I've never had it, but I'm supposed if you did, it wouldn't be nice. You wouldn't be going back for more. But this is quite, this is quite nice. Even though it's got like black pepper extract or powder in as well. Gives it a nice spicy kick to the end. So this is like my half-time drink before we start, or a bit of work on the trail. So that is cardio done. Half an hour of steps today. Reason being, we're doing a high day today. I've only just found out. Luke just messaged me after seeing this morning's pictures, and condition is good. Condition is pretty much there. So I need to eat. My last refeed was last Friday. Today is obviously Thursday. So we've kind of done a week of digging again with lower food, and now I'm in a position where we can feed up for 1 or 2 days. So that's why my steps were not my usual hour of steps, because steps are being reduced to 10,000 today instead of 15,000, which was the normal. So macros for today: 220 gram of protein, 1,000 gram of carbs, 60 gram of fat. So nice day of food today, which I'm thoroughly looking forward to. I just said on my story before when I was on the treadmill, you can get obviously excited for these days because you've been on like 200 gram of carbs for a while, and you see 1,000 gram of carbs and you're like, right, let's go to the shop and get cakes and biscuits and whatever to meet my needs. But you've got to kind of stay grounded, keep everything as simple as possible, especially on these high days. I'm keeping it very, very, very clean. Carb sources are going to be rice cakes, oats, jam, banana, and honestly I think that's it. Fat sources, peanut butter, and just general fats which come from oats and things like that. What else? And protein is pretty low. I've been on 300 gram of protein, so to go down to 220 is quite a reduction. So protein is fairly low on all meals today, again because we would just want to shuttle carbohydrates into the body. So that's the plan for today. Normal cardio was set today anyway, so 30 minutes. So I'm just on the way to the shop now to get the essentials that I need. I need to stock up on rice cakes, jam and bananas, I think, today. So I get enough for today, and probably have to go to the shop tomorrow again, depending on what the plan is, because we're doing this on a day-to-day basis at the moment, because obviously Luke needs to see pictures in the morning, see how full I am, see whether we actually need another high day. We might not need one, or it might be still flat and depleted and we might have to go again. So, you know, this is an important part of prep are these high days, feed ups. You know, when you've been in depletion for a while, you know, we've done 3 shows, so condition is, 2 shows, so condition has been there for quite a while now, and it hasn't taken us too long to get down to the condition we want to bring to show in this next showing. So, you know, the longer you stay in a depleted state, and say if I wasn't to have any high days now till show day in 2 weeks, it would be very hard for us to carb up when we do peak week, because your body's so depleted of glycogen. So having these high days is going to obviously hold weight, is going to fill out the muscle. It's just going to help us when we come to peak week, because we can kind of determine what my body needs in terms of carbohydrates. Like obviously today we're doing 1,000 gram of carbs, which is kind of the middle ground of what we've done in the past shows. We've done like 900 gram of carbs, carb ups, 1,200 gram of carbs, carb ups. So today is kind of like a middle ground, 1,000 gram of carbs. It's still high food, but so we're just going to see what pictures look like in the morning, see what weight does. Normally from these carb ups, I tend to drop weight the day after, because I lower my veg intake, fruit and veg intake, which is, you know, one of the things that kind of fills you up during prep and keeps you just generally full, and obviously fibre content as well. I'm not having much fibre today. I will keep a small amount of veg in each meal, but it'll be less than half of what I've been doing, just again to add a slight bit of fibre, because we obviously need to keep things moving. So yeah, that's the plan for today, and that is kind of my morning routine boxed off. The cardio, the training, the posing, the steps. It's now currently 10:15 in the morning. I've had my post-workout meal as well, so I didn't obviously know about this carb up today, so I did my normal post-workout meal, which was 56 grams of cream of rice, and 30 grams of whey. So that is kind of, it's going to be added on to my meal 1, which I'm going to have when I get home, which is quite a nice meal. I'm having 2 meals where I'm having 100 gram of oats for my first meal and 150 gram of oats for my last meal, just because I've been craving a large bowl of oats for the whole of prep really. So that is what's going in today. So yeah, morning routine kind of done. I go home now. I'm going to eat a meal, and then I'm going to have my standard half an hour to an hour nap, which I've been doing every single day after training or after cardio, just again to improve recovery, because, you know, my sleep at night is okay, but it's just broken up by getting up to go to the toilet for a piss really. I'm getting up like 4 or 5 times a night to get up, which isn't great for sleep. You know, broken sleep is something you've got to accept in prep. It's just bound and going to happen, no matter whether you use any sleep aids or anything like that. It's kind of something that just comes with prep. The body's fighting fat loss, and you're kind of forcing it to drop fat, and conditions in body fat's in a very low place, so naturally your body doesn't really want to sleep, and it's not in a comfortable position to have decent sleep. So my naps, because I eat before them, are actually really productive. I actually really get a really good sleep in. I can sleep for half an hour to an hour straight, which is great. So I've just been incorporating that, so that's what I'll do when I get home. And then my day starts from there really. So, you know, I don't really class my morning routine as part of my day really anymore. It's kind of, my day starts when I wake up from my nap, which is kind of nice. So that's what's going to go down. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, vlog, training, description of training as well, something a bit different, which I haven't really done.
but I'm thinking I might do another one of these next week in training, just to show you and talk about training in a bit more light and detail, because obviously we're backing off a bit from training, so I can focus. I have a bit more time to focus on things like that, and it actually helped today, me trying to like focus on filming and describing movements and things like that. It kind of helped with my rest periods and staying focused in that way, so I quite enjoyed that. So, but yeah, episode 15 or 16 done. So yeah, we'll see you next week for whatever I plan to do. Cheers guys.